The last 7, 8 years has been very difficult and challenging for me. There was a pandemic. I moved home to sort of reevaluate my career and figure out what the next steps were. But my mother came down with Alzheimer's as soon as I arrived home, and I've been her caretaker now for the last 7 years. And so it was my job to keep her safe. It's been very stressful. So now she's getting ready to move on, and it's time for me to move on and start my life again.
Women around the world understand that aging can be difficult, and often how they've aged does not reflect who they really are.
Hi, I'm Terry from Southern California. I am feeling a little bit nervous right now, but so excited to have this makeover. I, at the end, want to feel modern, fresh, distinctive, and sexy.
Beauty is far more than skin deep, and often the desire for a makeover comes from the soul of the child within.
When I was really little, like 3 and 4, my mother's younger sister, my Aunt Nancy, would come and stay with us because she was a stewardess. And I remember being very little and looking at her suitcase and thinking how exciting her life would be. And even as a little girl, I said, I want to travel, I want to be like her. And when I got to pick my lunchbox at 5 years old, I picked a stewardess because that's what I wanted to do. My dad had an explosive temper with us, and it was very challenging as a little kid dealing with his temper. It was terrifying. And you did whatever you had to do, to protect yourself. But as I grew, I always resented him for being that way, but then I started to resent my mom as well because she never stood up to him. She didn't stand up for us. She didn't stand up for herself. And it made me angry. And I always thought I would never get in a relationship like that. I would never be subservient to a man, especially an angry man. He would never wanted us kids to get too big for our britches and kind of put us in our place and make fun of us and put us down. There was a lot of putting us down. He used to make fun of my nose. When God was giving out noses, Terry thought he said hoses and asked for one to reach to the back porch. Ha ha ha, everybody laughed. But it was devastating for me, especially my teens, because I felt very unpopular and ugly as a kid. Well, when I got to UCLA, I was sort of experienced what I guess a lot of freshmen experience, which was I was terrified. I had no self-esteem, and I didn't feel comfortable. I felt fat, I felt ugly, I didn't feel that I fit in. This was the 70s, and Women's Lib was really coming on strong. I mean, there were jokes about it on Laugh-In, Women's Lib, burning their bras, all that kind of stuff. I remember I wrote Equal Rights Amendment paper for my English class, and I learned all about it. And it was really an interesting time because women were suddenly being allowed to be things that they couldn't do before. And laws were changing. They were allowed to own property in their own name, have credit cards in their own name. And I saw, it just struck a chord in me. And I just determined to do something and have a different kind of life than my mother did. I never wanted to be just a housewife. And I had boyfriends, I dated, but there was always, maybe it was in me, where I was putting up walls and wasn't quite ready to be loved or to love someone else. I'm ready to put all the pain behind me, put all my walls, out there and acknowledge them and turn the page and find someone to love and to be loved by. I'm not shy. I can go to a bar and strike up conversation with pretty much anybody. And the more I moved around, I moved to Annapolis, then San Francisco, then New York, and kind of threw myself out there, the more I got confidence in myself. And I'm like, I'm going to be okay. I can talk to anybody. I found New York fascinating because there were a whole wide variety of people there. In 2014, I was working in New York, and I lost my job because they'd made a promise to me, then they took it back and they called me a liar. Now, I'm an extremely honest person, and that cut me to the core, and I could no longer work at this company. So I took myself off to Barcelona, and I laid on the beach, and I thought, okay, now what? Here I was 53. Is there time for me to change? I still wanted to travel. That never left me. I have this wanderlust. And here I was surrounded by Barcelona, and that even more made me realize I want to travel. This is when I feel the most alive. I have the most fun. I came home, sold all my stuff, moved to Portland, Oregon for 6 months, took a boot camp in web design and development. And then I called my mom. I said, Mom, you know, I'm at a place now where I need to sort of regroup and change tracks. Can I come home and stay with you for a while? And she said, sure, stay as long as you like. So I moved in with her. Unfortunately, as soon as I moved in, I noticed things about her that were odd. I took her to a neurologist, and she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. It's incredibly sad to watch the one person in your life that showed you love leaving you little by little. And I've watched it every day for the last 7.5 years. So, my life has been put on hold. I tried to apply for a few jobs, but I was turned down. The pandemic hit. I was under a lot of stress to keep us both safe, especially her, because she's 86. And I lost my train of thought. Where was it? So now, 7.5 years later, it is time for her to move on to the next stage. And so now I need to pick up my life again. And I need a shot of confidence. My hair's turned gray, it's fallen out. Maybe it's the stress, I don't know. But I'm calling this my 4th booster because I need a shot in the arm of confidence to get myself back out there, to land the dream job where I can travel and I can go out and have fun.
If you really want to know how to always look your best, there are 6 essential elements that you must understand to do your hair and makeup and be well dressed. They are body, head, hair, face, color, and style. Body, head, hair, face, color, and style. Body, head, hair, face, colors, and style. That's right, it's body, head, hair, face, colors, and style. First, there's body.
Terry is 5 foot 2 inches. She weighs 141 pounds. Her measurements are 39, 32, 40. At 5 foot 2, she's a little bit short, and her waist is short. She also has saddlebags and heavier upper arms. When we look in profile, we can see that the prominent feature is a heavier bust and a protruding abdomen. But we can see that her legs are shorter, so we want to elongate the leg line, minimize the midriff from profile. Overblouses and jackets and sweaters will be more flattering at or above the hip line. In general, when someone is petite, lighter on the top will help make someone look taller than darker on the top and lighter on the bottom. From the back you can see a slight saddlebag, something that you don't want to accentuate by tapering too tightly right below that area with your skirt or slacks. From behind you can see that her shoulders balance out her hips, that her waist is shorter. We don't want to minimize the bust, we want to keep it where it is, lift it so that fabrics can drape over the top and over the tummy. Her hair has a strong colic in the front, and it's generally medium hair that has some body to it, but it is thinned out. Her hair is thinner on the right side of her head, and you can see that it's scraggly and needs to come up to where it's going to be the most full, which would be just below her jawline, should we want to leave it at its ideal length as far as thickness goes. From her profile, the length doesn't do much to flatter her. If we were to leave it longer, it would probably be better away from her face and showing some of her jawline. When we analyze her head shape from the back, she's asymmetrical in that her right shoulder drops and her head tilts slightly to her left. She has a nice neckline and a good head shape, so she could wear it short. It really is going to be best kept right around her neckline. If it goes longer, she's going to have to style it in a way that hopefully will hold. When we analyze her face, we can see that she has some asymmetrical features. Her right eye is more hooded than her left. Her mouth is slightly higher on her left side, lower on her right. Her eyes are asymmetrical, with one showing more eyelid than the other. And there's a stronger, prominent nose that can be narrowed. She has a very nice oval-shaped face, a fuller upper lip than lower lip. Her hair all pulled back looks nice, and she has very little slackening of the jaw, which is nice. When she smiles, the face becomes more balanced, but our goal would be to lift her left eyelid, creates more balance with the right. From profile you can see there's a slight kyphosis, a technical term for what is known as the dowager's hump. Hairstyles that fall right to that will be flattering, or she can wear collars or necklines or blouses that help soften that as well. A hairstyle that helps balance the prominent nose without too much height in the crown, which can somehow accentuate that. It should fall below the occipital a little bit. She has very balanced features aside from the prominent nose, so nothing really needs to be done as far as adding bangs or adding something to the front, which normally you would think would balance the nose, but it might cover the beauty or hairline the way it is. When we look at her coloring, she comes out as a cool winter. Cooler tones with bright pigment will be more flattering than warmer tones with muted pigment. She wants to feel modern, fresh, distinctive, and sexy.
At the end, want to feel modern, fresh, distinctive, and sexy. Well, you didn't expect this, did ya? So I expected to look better, but I didn't expect to look this good. This is going to open up a whole new world for me. I feel modern, I feel fresh, I feel innovative, and I feel... Wow! God, I'm scared to shit. I don't think I've ever had anybody just focus on me. You know, a whole team of people just focusing on me. As the middle child, I never felt like I really got my turn. And this is what I feel like I got this week. I got focus and attention and people all working just to make me happier and feel good and look good. It's an amazing experience. I was sitting backstage and I was thinking about this whole experience and just how thankful I was that you guys picked me for this, and you know, that I could go through this because, and I kind of wish that everyone would have a chance to do this, because it's really transformative to have somebody, a whole team of people, again, like I said, just focusing on you for a change. And I think that's what really touched me, you know. I felt like a movie star. And, you know, only actresses, models, and wealthy women get this kind of attention. And it's a shame that everybody can't have it. So that's what I was thinking about. Yes. I need a shot in the arm of confidence to get myself back out there, to land the dream job where I can travel. Because now I think I have the confidence to go out and look for jobs and land them. No more fuddy-duddy. I'm still the same person, but now I'll know I look good. As soon as Christopher saw me and he played with my hair for a while and he said, I know what I want to do. You need to be a badass. And I'm like, yeah, I need to be a badass. I don't want to play it safe. It's not the time, right? This has been a painful decade, but the next one, I can feel it. It's going to be awesome.